Today I am going to be doing a quick race report for the Old Caz Grasshopper, which I competed in over the weekend. As some of you may know, I prepared a few short videos leading up to the event, and I'll post a few cards here at the top of your screen. Please stick around to the end of this video. That's where I offer some tips and advice on what I could have done differently to improve my time overall.
On to me.
So in today's video, I'm going to treat this kind of like a race report. I know I've said in the previous videos that I've made leading up to this that it's not really a bike race, but the reality is it is ridden like a bike race, and you have, for the most part, bike racers who show up to do this event. Leading up to the actual ride, I produced a couple of videos showing the creek crossing and also some of the upgrades I was making to this bike. But what I left out was what tire choice I was making. That decision to leave that out was unintentional. I wanted to get a feel for how wet the roads were going to be and how wet the trails were going to be, or how wet they would still be after all the rain we've had. So the tire I chose is the Compass Snoqualmie Pass. I used the standard weight casing, and it is a 44 millimeter wide tire. So I have never actually used the bigger ones, but I was very curious to what they're able to provide in terms of ride quality, rolling resistance, and all that. And everything that I have read indicated to me that these were probably a pretty fast rolling tire, aside from the fact that they're also very light compared to other XC or cross-country tires that you would find on a hardtail mountain bike. I'm not saying this is the best bike to ride for this event, but between the bikes that I had, I found that this one was my best compromise. So the pressure that I used for the day of the event was 40 psi in the back and 35 in the front. I do feel, in looking back now after the results of the race, that was a pretty ideal tire pressure to choose for my weight and for the weight of the bike and the conditions of the roads. The next thing we'll do, we'll just get into this Strava flyby. We'll take a look at that. I'm going to show you some of the key points in the race or where things actually made a difference, where the key moments were. You should see this Strava flyby now on your screen. And I'm going to go ahead, and there was a lot of people at this ride that posted their rides to Strava, so I can't show all of them. But I went through the list here, and I pulled out a few people who were near me throughout most of the race. So I've checked on their names. I checked everyone else off, and I checked on their names. But also, I want to check on the winner, which was Ted King. Congratulations, Ted. Good job, by the way. Very impressive ride. Okay, so I checked on Levi Leipheimer, which I think most of you know who that is. And then also I've checked on Ted King, because I just want to show you, how the race is on the front versus where I'm at. From the very start, I'll show you some footage at the start line, but basically where I started was somewhere in the middle of the group, maybe just slightly to the back of the middle, so maybe at the 60% mark. I didn't really line up at a quick time. I was sort of getting ready, and I was doing a little warm-up on Coleman Valley Road, and I kind of pushed it up to the line, although I was there early and I had plenty of time to line up. So that morning I wasn't feeling real motivated to take a lot of footage, and I also wasn't in the mood to force my way up onto the front. I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was really gonna do all that well anyway, so I didn't want to get in the way and have everybody having to move around me. So again, that was just a lack of confidence. I should have, in hindsight, I should have went ahead and positioned myself kind of where I think I fit overall in the group. But anyway, let's talk about the start. So as it always does, it rolls out from the town. People are more or less in one big group, and this year was 600 plus riders. It was the biggest turnout ever, and that was definitely noticeable in the town of Occidental. There was just a lot of riders. So anyway, we rolled out. So that's a key to doing well at these rides, is to try to get a good starting position. I'm kind of at the back of this group of people, and these are the people I ultimately will be riding with in the subsequent part of the race. There's a whole bunch of people behind me, which I don't have on here, but so anyway, I get out to the highway, and we take the highway all the way to Duncan's Mills. As we come up to Monterey, we cross the bridge there at the river, and we work our way towards the next climb, which is Old Monterey Road. And that road is that climb's short. It's like maybe less than 600 feet. It's a short climb, but then it's a dirt descent down to Cherry Street or Cherry Drive in Guerneville. And that's the road that takes you over to Old Caz, which is where the next big climb is. In fact, it's, I think, one of the biggest climbs, with the exception of the final climb. So it's comparable to the last climb. So we get to the top. I do the descent down to the creek crossing here. Immediately across the creek, there's actually another little climb. And I think a lot of people forget about that climb. It's on a gravel road, so it's smooth, but actually not really, because the gravel on that road is loose. It was wet, so it's helpful to it helped to keep it packed. But I've ridden that on days where it's really dry and it's just very loose gravel. So we drop down this last little pavement descent to the town of Cazadero. And let me zoom in here, because this is where things actually turn for me in this ride. So I get into Cazadero, and I know it looks like I'm with a group here, but let's get in closer. So I am where the post office is. I'm there by myself. There's this girl behind me. Her name is Amity. And so I'm riding through town, and as I get to where the store is, just past the store, Amity comes up and she just flies by me. It was like, I felt like she was going twice my speed. I see her passing me, and I take a quick look and I make a quick assessment that I need to jump on this wheel. If I can sit on her wheel for a little bit, I can maybe regroup with the next group up ahead. And maybe that's her strategy. There was another female cyclist that we passed. She gets on our little group also. So now there's 3 of us, and we're all basically trying to work together. I'm trying to participate in the effort, but I know that I can't pull like this girl is. Yeah, she was something else. So anyway, I was really thankful that she picked me up, and I was able to follow her. So we worked for about 3 miles. There was the 3 of us. We turned onto what's called Austin Creek Road, which gets us off the highway. It occurs right here. We're now on this little side road, which is rougher and rolling terrain. It causes us to slow down a little bit, but we join with another big group of cyclists who then work together all the way to Duncan's Mills. Now there's a little climb here, and we've been all kind of sharing the work, pulling and trying to get some time back. We get to this little climb, and I think our group that had turned into about 12 to 15 suddenly dwindled again here, and we lost a few people on this little climb. And I think we were down to maybe 4 or 5 when we turned onto Willow Creek Road right there. And that's us turning on Willow Creek Road. And there was about 4 of us. Amity being the one sort of pulling the whole time. So she drives us all the way up Willow Creek Road, just about to the start of the climb, which is right here. Let's get to the start of the climb. So, oh, by the way, that's Levi and Ted. They're now. So we're just turning. I don't know if you can see all this. So at this moment, when Levi and Ted are starting the final climb, we aren't even on Willow Creek Road yet. So that's how far ahead Levi and Ted were. This is where it got interesting. I felt like I had overdone it. So I start the climb. Normally I can do this climb in 22 minutes, but you can see here Amity's the green circle. She's just slowly riding away from me now, and I just try to maintain my losses. I got passed by several people here, guys that I think were behind me in a different group. But Amity just rode away, and I just tried to cover my losses, do the best I could, not go too slow, but I felt like I was just like, I could have walked faster. Okay, the finish is right there. I am done. The key moments were after the creek crossing in Cazadero and finding a strong group to ride with. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results. This is the overall, and this is I have the filter set here to all. So Ted King finished the ride in 2 hours, 50 minutes, 59.7 seconds for a first place win. Second place was Cameron Braunstein, and then in third was Sam Bassetti. Congratulations, guys. Incredible results and incredible times that you posted today. Levi ended up in 4th place overall, followed by Philip, Ryan Wren, Andrew Gosling, Anthony Little, Stephen Vogel, Carson Benjamin, Jackson Duncan, Chaz Christensen, Craig Fellers, Will Riflemacher, John Hunt. Kate Courtney was the first place women's finisher. She finished 16th overall, that's with everyone combined, at a blistering time of 3 hours and 5 minutes. As I scroll through here, most of these are recognizable names. There are some unfamiliar names, but most of them I do recognize, and I'm sure some of you do. Yuri's a well-known cyclist. I think he won the Dirty Kanza one year. Mig Crawford, obviously. He puts on this event each year. Thanks, Mig. Good job, man. And look at your time, 3 hours 15. Okay, so don't mean to skip ahead all these people. So here's Amity. So she finished in 3 hours 25 minutes. Okay, I ended up. I'll go ahead and show you where I'm at here. Here's me, Jeremy Stanley. I don't know if you knew that, but I did it in 3 hours 30 minutes. All right, so now let's look at it by group. So we'll start with the pros. So obviously Ted King, all the same people are pretty much in the same order. Let's look at we'll look at my category, men 40 to 49. There were, Matt Young finished first in my age group, followed by Matt Adams and Peter Vaughn. I ended up 35th overall in my age group. All right, so the last thing I wanted to talk about was things that I could do or see doing to improve my results next time. I think the bike choice could be made a little bit better. I believe that a cyclocross or gravel adventure bike is the ideal choice because the course, while it is technical, the terrain is varied but mostly asphalt. So I think a lighter weight bike would give you that advantage with the climbs on the pavement climbs, as well as the flatter sections of the ride where you're on highways. I think a gravel bike would be the ultimate. There's no real reason to have a front suspension. Carrying that extra weight doesn't give you that much of an advantage for the weight penalty. Getting a good position at the start line, I think that's key. And then, of course, tire selection. I don't think I could have chosen a better tire. Okay, so the last thing I want to bring up was just my gear choice. I bought this bike back in 2009. It came with a triple front chainring. That was the sort of the standard at the time. I know since then we've gone to this, more people have been going to this one by setup. I haven't gotten on that bandwagon yet. I tend to wait and see how these trends sort of shake out in the end. I'm not convinced myself that the one by is the best situation. I still have my reservations about it. We can spare that for another time, but basically I used the triple front and I was really happy I did, because with the big ring it helped me on the flat highway sections, and then of course the middle and small rings helped me get up some of the climbs, and especially some of the steeper climbs, the steeper parts of the climbs. Using that small ring in the dirt was very helpful. So overall, I'm happy with the gear choice I made. I'm happy the way the bike is geared, and I don't plan on changing to one by anytime soon. Thank you for watching, and feel free to leave a comment and let me know if you were out there and how your day went. And if there's anything you can add to this discussion as far as what rides you're doing in the future or what tires you use, that's always interesting. Let me know what you think of the Grasshopper series. I think it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it. All right, have a nice day.